Composite Organisms, Lichens. Lichens transcend mutualism between species. Most people who have spent any time outdoors have seen examples of lichens. As with most subjects, a variety of fascinating discussions and beautiful images can be found on the web. Lichens display a dazzling range of shapes, textures, and colors, and grow on surfaces ranging from bare rock to roofs, soil, tree branches, as well as extreme environments that are too hot, dry, cold, or toxic for other organisms. Lichens are classified in the special category of composite organisms. They have arisen at numerous times and from a broad range of different combinations of algal and fungal species, as well as cyanobacteria. The sheer diversity of different combinations of species that make up these composite organisms demonstrates evolutionary opportunism at its finest. The remarkable history of lichen research. In 1851, Charles Darwin published a note on lichens in An Enumeration of the Plants of the Galapagos Archipelago, which reads, Usnea plicata, habitat James Island, hanging from the boughs of the trees in the upper damp region, where it forms a considerable proportion of the food of the large tortoise. Charles Darwin, Esquire. Darwin was interested in this particular lichen because it was a favorite food source of the now famous Galapagos tortoises. But Darwin was not the only revolutionary 19th century naturalist to notice lichens. Less than a decade after publication of the first edition of On the Origin of Species, Simon Schwindiner hypothesized in 1867 that lichens are formed by two different organisms, a fungus and an alga. As is often the case with groundbreaking hypotheses, this symbiotic association was not widely accepted until many years later. Beatrix Potter, who is most famous for her timeless classics in children's literature, notably The Tale of Peter Rabbit, also had strong interests in the art and science of fungi. As it turns out, she too was opposed to Schwindiner's symbiotic hypothesis. Eventually, however, Schwindiner's hypothesis was accepted, and for 140 years, the symbiotic hypothesis held that lichens consisted of two species, an algal species and a fungal species. Quite recently, however, a 2016 research paper by Toby Spribile and others in Science demonstrated that lichens often consist of 3 or more different species, not just 2, and the third member of this symbiotic ménage à trois is often a type of yeast. In fact, these and other authors have showed that a variety of different 3-species lichen symbioses can be found all over the world.